I know you were still kind of incapacitated. You couldn't walk very well. You couldn't do a lot of things. What was it that, as a father, that made you, like for the other people who have gone through, like, so many patients have different illnesses, cancer, whatever, they're so sick. They're on their way to recovery. What is it that made you say, I have to make this, happen? What is it that was motivating you?
Well, even when I got home, as you know, COVID was still
Rampant, yeah.
rampant at that time. And we could see on the news also, there were lines of people outside hospitals trying to get different kind of treatment. There was no vaccine in the market at that time. And then me sitting at home after such a tough journey, it made me get different perspective on life. And herself, Bhushan, they kept telling me that this is your second life, a second chance that you've gotten. Make the most of it. Take good care of yourself. Try to make the kids happy as much as you can. So that was the thing that kept me going. I got letters of support from my colleagues back at work saying they were happy to see me back home.
So did you feel like your colleagues kind of a supportive, your family?
Definitely. And
Everyone, yeah.
She actually showed me the letters that they wrote me
Yeah.
when I was in the hospital. That was very touching for me. They said that they were looking forward
I
to
can't
having
tell
me
you
back.
how many phone calls I got about
I'm
this.
sure.
you
And
did.
with patient confidentiality, everybody is anybody. I don't even know them. They're calling, how is he doing? How is he doing? Like these 4 months, because you're a, popular figure, I guess.
Yes,
And,
everyone
and
knew.
probably you were the sickest in the Indian community. So
Yes.
the whole community wanted to know how you were doing and what was going on. And
So until I came home, I did not have access to the phone. But when I started checking my messages, so one example I can tell you, I have a friend who lives in Toronto. So he told me that at one point in time, you were the most famous Indian patient in the whole of North America.
I can
Yeah.
attest to that.
Yes,
from
and
so
he
many-
told me that there was a prayer group for me set up in Toronto. Would you believe it or not?
It was in every
Actually,
city.
I got
There are prayer
a
groups.
text from somebody I didn't even know, or one of the doctors I knew, but I have no idea how he's connected to you.
Yeah.
But I got from Chinmaya Mission asking for serum donation and something, and I said, "Oh, it's it's for Rohan." I said, "Oh my God, how did this connect?" So you are right. It is true that you were the most well-known.
Yeah. We received
sickest
so many
patient.
Facebook messages.
She
I
and
responded to
Bhushan
each
told
one.
me stories about people volunteering to donate plasma
Yes.
from across the country. That was touching too. I mean,
People were ready to drive down. Like they're
Yeah.
like 10 hours, no problem. Just let us know and we'll be there.
It's very good to know the community
Yes,
kind of
absolutely.
rallies around.
Yeah.
Very nice. So I know that your son told me that you made a promise that you'll play soccer with him. You came home in July, and by December. So what is it that made you? What effort did you have to put to make it happen?
So following the instructions of the doctors and her, so I was doing physiotherapy in a nearby facility. There used to be a home treatment also for a few days, and trying to put on as much strength as I could at that time, and follow instructions from the doctors. Take my medications, whatever they put me on a schedule. That was the main thing, and seeing the joy in the kids' eyes, there is no bigger motivation than that. At any point in life. So that was what drove me at that time to try harder. Yes,
To be there for them.
Absolutely. So
I mean, I think that's the really message for Father's Day. Your drive to be there for the kids. Because they're young kids, and you had all your worries, and
Yeah.
and to try hard to be there. So you're really a superhero for them and for everybody.
Yeah.
That you, because really the challenge starts when you are unconscious, you're paralyzed, you're on this life support system, you're not doing anything, it's somebody else doing all the work. When you come home, your body is trying to fight, but when you come home is when really your challenges begin. You really have to motivate yourself to get up from the chair when it hurts, to go take that walk when it hurts, when you can't, and you have to push yourself. So I think that's where really your effort 100% came through, and that's really a motivation for people, who have to really make it happen for others. And people who go through, both patients as well as the families who have been on a ventilator or very seriously ill in an ICU, there's something called post-ICU syndrome. It's very well known,
Yes.
both for patients as well as for families, that they have anxiety, depression, post traumatic stress syndrome. And other than the physical parts, I'm sure you've had aches and pains and some nerve damage, or so many things can happen. You had so many support systems, like so many IVs, and so did you both or your family experience
I
those
did.
kind of symptoms?
Actually, yes, both of us did. So I was on some medication until recently. I'm still on my heart medication, which I may need to take maybe forever. I'm not sure. I'm trying to at least get the dose reduced.
So you had
But
like
we did
anxiety,
take, yeah,
depression,
I
and
was on
flashback.
anti-anxiety medication because even after Rohan got home, I literally, like a freak, I would keep checking if he's breathing okay. So I never slept well for months because every time
I mean,
I
the
would
kids kind of
feel,
react differently. How
yeah,
did the kids react? Did they have any sleeping problems or anything
they would. Vivan was, he used to sleepwalk a lot since the
at
time
that
Rohan
time?
was in the hospital, and he doesn't remember anything.
And now it stopped
Now
after.
it stopped.
See, the
So
kids don't know how to express,
yeah,
So
Vivan sleepwalked a lot. And then they would come down, even after he got back home, they would come down just to
make
check
sure
on
he's there.
him. Or if he doesn't wake up at his usual time, like usually at 8 o'clock, if he's not up, they would go, they
And check
would
on him.
and check on him to see if he's okay. So it took us all actually quite some time to get used to the new normal, that he's
So
back
he's
and this
still
is the life.
some things were probably still not back to normal, right?
No, they're
Almost
not.
there, but not there.
Yes, not there, but it is the new
New
normal.
normal. That's
So
a very practical
yes,
thing to
and we
think about.
accepted it the way it is. So if it remains the way it is, we are happy.
So now you're fully. When were you fully back to work? After how many months?
Within 6 months, actually.
Within 6 months.
So they phased me in. They didn't increase my workload to begin with.
So did you go back to the same company that you
Same
worked
company.
for?
They were happy to take me back. I am grateful to them till this date.
So did they say on the first day you went to work, did they say miracle man is walking back or something or what?
Actually, a lot of people there, also people who I did not work with directly. I got messages from them also within the company. So that was very touching. And let's say until December or January, they phased me in. They did not burden me with a lot of work, with a lot of projects. But then uh, they they used to check on me. They asked me, "Let us know when you'll be ready to work on a project." So maybe from the January month of 2021, that's when I
So
started.
almost like a year, almost
Yeah.
close to a year.
Close to a year. That's when I started taking up a full workload of projects, and then they supported me a lot, and uh, I was back to normal from a work perspective at that time. But physical activity, I still have restrictions, to be honest. But as she said, that's the new normal. I don't
So
expect.
you know how to pace yourself and not to
Yes.
push
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know when to stop doing certain things. But like, for example, we made a trip to New York a few years ago, and we got tickets to go to the crown level of the Statue of Liberty. uh, she said she was not pushing me, but I said I want to do it for myself and see
So
how
you went
far
all
I
the
can
way.
go. And
He did.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kids were super happy because
Kids were
we didn't
excited.
expect
But it
that.
was struggle, right?
It was a
Yeah.
struggle. It was a struggle, but I could do it. So that was a good milestone for me at that time. So these small things, I try to set a target.
But you really are a miracle man, because if I tell you the numbers, which I'm going to do in the introduction, I'm sure you know by now, because you've written a book, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is what, US edition, or
Yes, this is
That
the
is the
US
US
edition,
and this
and
is
that
the
is the
Indian edition.
Indian
Indian
edition.
edition.
So
Yeah.
tell me about how you wrote this book. What was your motivation, and why did you do it? Did it help you when you were writing it? And when did you start writing it?
I had kept a track of his hospital days right from day
So you
one.
kept a diary.
I
Okay.
kept a diary, and then my mom kept a diary. So she
Nice.
sent me pictures of everything, what she wrote, what I would tell her every
You
day.
should
She
share them
would
with me.
write it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she would write it down. So, and then I had made an Excel spreadsheet, like which hospital, what time, what happened,
You are
who
very
said
organized.
what. So every day I
You
would
have it
just,
still?
I have it still.
like
I
to
have
see
the
it.
yes, I have the Excel spreadsheet. Who did what said what were the numbers, everything.
People have to learn, from this, from what you're saying.
Yeah.
So instead of just getting dragged down, start crying, and just
Yeah.
be proactive.
Yeah, because we wanted to compare like how he's doing compared to maybe an hour ago, because that is what we were going by. And then whenever we were talking to relatives, whoever called, and one of our Rohan's friend's father, actually he's a writer in India, and then he called and I was telling him what all happened, and he said, you know what, you should write a book. I was like, you're kidding me, I don't have patience, and then I don't want to go back to the same cycle.
You don't want to relive the
I don't want
trauma.
to relive the trauma, exactly. And he said, no, it is for your children, that because they don't know at this time what happened. Maybe when they grow up, they will know what they went
Not
through.
only children, but
and
there
for
are
the
so
people.
many. Yes, exactly.
Yes. So that's how it started actually. It was him and one of Rohan's aunts. She said, you have to write a book.
So was it very cathartic to write the book for you? Like, was it very that you could get all your emotions out and stuff like that?
Yes, it was at times. I think sometimes.
Were you crying when you were writing some of them?
Some of the, yes. Like,
because you were reliving
yes, when he had cardiac arrest, like things like that, when I was writing, absolutely. But I think what it did was, it made me so strong that, because I know the ending, right?
Yeah.
So I knew where it was going.
Yeah.
So we just kept on going and we wrote it. Along with a co-writer, actually. She's amazing, Sharmishta. She's based out of Austin, and she has done an amazing job.
Excellent. Very, very well written. And I think it's a must read for people who are going through, the chronic illness or going up and down or in the ICU. And frankly, so many people, I'm sure in your relatives and my relatives also, we had 7 deaths in India and here. And colleagues died, doctors died, residents died. And it just shakes you when your colleagues start dying,
Yes.
So I'm sure you have in your family too, or people that didn't make it.
Yes. So many of them.
Yeah. So I think grateful to God that,
Yes.
that everything ended, like you said, ended well. And I remember talking to you. I said, can you send me a photo? I want to share with his doctors, because they'll be so happy. Because for us, when we work in the ICU, when somebody walks in, we don't even recognize.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll walk in after 2 months, and somebody we took care of for 2 months, and every day we're seeing them. And they walk in, we don't even recognize, and it makes us so happy.
Yes.
Lifts our morale up,
Yeah.
Like in the clinic, sometimes we see and we say, oh my God, this is the same person, because it's totally different. So I remember talking to you and you said, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to send a picture right now. You said, let me wait a few more, because you were so scared that you were going to jinx the outcome, So I think it's nice that after 5 years you feel safe enough to talk about it and actually write a book.
Yes.
And did you have any comments from anybody? Anybody call you and say this book was helpful, or,
Yeah,
I can
I had-
relate to it or something
I
like
had a
that?
lot of people actually calling and even messaging me on Facebook saying it gave us strength. You know, someone they know went through something, had a bad case of cancer or had a bad accident, or because at least sometimes I think when you are in crisis, you don't know what we need to do, and then I think that's where the book helped them. The simple things like making notes or
Yeah.
asking right questions at the right time. So it's not that you're doubting doctors or you're doubting anyone,
No, you're
but
proactive.
you're proactive. You're asking. So sometimes there are so. I mean, I remember asking really silly questions like, "Can you give him multivitamin when he was in the ICU because he's not eating anything? He has a feeding tube on." And then I remember the doctor telling me, "Yeah, that's not a bad idea." Because, but sometimes, I mean, I felt like it was a really silly question whether I should ask or not, but I still did. So simple things like that, if it helps even one person out
Yeah.
of millions, then
No, there's, I
that's
mean,
all we need.
well-informed patient and family is very important because you exactly know what to ask and what to expect. And I remember finally when you shared the picture and I
Yes.
sent it to the doctors who took care. I know that one of the ICU doctors was crying.
He
Actually.
was.
Yeah.
When we went back, he was crying. He actually showed us the room where Rohan coded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they explained everything, like how everyone ran towards that room, and he couldn't believe it. I mean, he said, even if you had come on a wheelchair, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
But just to see you walk, I cannot tell you how happy I feel.
Yeah, that is true. That's very, very rewarding.
Yes.
Especially to see him back to completely, have his job back, be working,
Everything.
be a
Yeah.
tax-paying citizen of the country. I'm sure
Which is very
Trump
important
is
at
happy
this point.
with paying taxes. So that's a full recovery and rehabilitation. So I'm sure you'll carry this memory with you and
Absolutely.
lessons learned. Both of you. So happy Father's Day. I see your best dad ever
Thank
shirt,
you.
and I
T-shirt.
know your kids made a nice dessert for you. They're going to share
Yeah.
with you.
I'm looking forward.
And very nice. So nice to meet you. And
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much,
sharing
Dr.
your
Guntupalli.
experience and sharing your experience in this book. Very, very nice.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.